So we can start with recitation of the opening prayers. So opening prayers are also called Mangalacharan or invocation of auspiciousness. So before we start anything actually in life, we should always take the blessings. We should always seek the blessings of our seniors, of our Guru, and also of Krishna. So this is what we do before every class, is we recite these prayers so we can get the blessings of the Lord, so that we can be of some value. So whatever we speak may be able to please Him, okay, and can benefit everyone who is present here. Okay, so we'll get started. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै
Shri Guru
नमः।
Namaha
श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य
Chaitanya
प्रभु
Prabhu
नित्यानन्द
Nityananda
श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे
Hare
कृष्णा
Krishna
हरे
Hare
कृष्णा
Krishna
कृष्णा कृष्णा
Krishna Hare Hare
हरे
Hare
राम
Ram
हरे
Hare Ram.
राम हरे हरे. Okay, everybody is able to hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes, all right, that's good. Thank you. Okay, so we will learn the verse for today first. We're reading from Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 60th verse. So congratulations, you're almost towards the end of the second chapter. And basically, this particular chapter is the entire Bhagavad Gita, all the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita summarized in one chapter, condensed in one chapter. That's what the second chapter stands for. And this particular verse that we're reading, so starting from verse number 58 to 63, is actually describing a person who is very sense controlled, who is very stable, of stable mind, calm mind. And we'll start with this verse. We'll start with the Sanskrit. So you can repeat the Sanskrit after me. Yatato. Everyone can unmute and repeat. Yatato.
Yatato
Hi.
He
Api.
api
Kaunteya.
Konteya
Purushasya.
Kurushasya
Vipaschitaha.
Indriyani
Indriyani. Pramatini.
Pramatini
Haranti.
Payanti
Prasabam.
Prasavam
Mana.
Mana
Okay, so we'll recite the first line together. Yatato hi api kaunteya.
Yatato Yapi Konteya
Jaya
We'll say it 3 times together, okay? Yatato hi api
Yatato
kaunteya.
Yatato Hi
Hi api
Api Konteya
kaunteya.
Yatato
Hi
Hi
api
Konteya
kaunteya. Yatato hi api kaunteya.
Yatato Hi Api
Yapi
Konteya
Konteya
Thank you. We'll go to the next line. Purushasya vipaschitaha. Purushasya
Asya Vipeshataha
Purushasya vipaschitaha.
Purushasya Vipeshataha
Purushasya vipaschitaha.
Purushasya Vipeshataha
Purushasya vipaschitaha.
Purushasya Vipeshataha
Okay, next line. Indriyani pramatini. Indriyani pramatini. Indriyani pramatini.
Indriyani pramintini.
Okay, one more time. Indriyani pramatini.
Indrayani
Indriyani pramintini.
Okay, last line. Haranti prasabham manaha.
Haranti
Samamana.
Haranti prasabham manaha. Haranti prasabham manaha.
Haranti prasabham.
Okay. Can everyone turn their videos on? Just a gentle reminder so we can see each other. Okay, thank you. All right. So now we'll recite the whole verse together. Okay. Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschita
Konteya.
indriyani pramatini haranti prasabham manaha. So we'll recite the whole thing together. Okay. Yatato yapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitah indriyani pramatini haranti prasabham manaha. Would everyone kindly recite after me? And whoever is drawing on the screen, I request you to kindly refrain from doing so. Thank you. All right. Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschita
Indriyani
indriyani
pramatini
haranti prasabham manaha.
Manaha
Yatato hyapi kaunteya
Yatato
purushasya vipaschitah indriyani pramatini haranti
Haranti
prasabham
prasabham
manaha.
manaha
Okay, one more time. Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitah indriyani pramatini haranti prasabham manaha. Okay, should we go to the word to word? Anybody would like to recite only the Sanskrit? Ansh, can you recite it?
Yatato hyapi konteya purushasya vipashrita indriyani pramatini haranti prasabham manaha.
Okay, thank you. Who else would like to recite? Nimai? Would you like to recite? No, no problem. Yes, Ramaya.
Yato hai apanata parasya vikramata aranya paraniti sarasara.
Good job. That's so wonderful. Actually, Krishna is so pleased with us when we try, even though we don't pronounce the best, Krishna is still very happy with us because he sees us like little children who are just learning to speak, right? So when we recite his own words, he's very, very pleased with us. So Ramaya, keep it up. Good job. Okay. Anybody else would like to recite once? Okay, if not, we can move on to synonyms. So I'll read the Sanskrit and you can repeat and then we can repeat the English as well. Okay. Yatata. Yatata. You can all unmute and say yatata.
Yatata
While endeavoring.
while endeavoring. While endeavoring.
He
He
certainly.
certainly.
Api
Api
in spite of.
in spite of.
Kaunteya,
Kaunteya,
O son of Kunti.
O son of Kunti.
Purushasya
Purushasya
of a man.
of a man.
Man.
Vipashchitaha
Vipashchitaha
full of discriminating knowledge.
full of
Discriminating
discriminating
knowledge.
Indriyani
Indriyani,
the senses.
the
senses.
Pramatini
Pramatini,
agitating.
Agitating.
Haranti
Haranti,
throw.
throw,
Prasabam
Prasibam.
by
by
force.
force,
By force.
Manaha
Manaha,
the mind.
the
The mind.
You anybody would like to read the translation? Let's see who is usually not participating. All right, Vrinda, you can read.
The senses are so strong and
Impetuous.
impetuous, O Arjuna, that forcefully carry away the mind even of a man of
Discrimination.
discrimination who is
And devouring.
endeavoring to control them.
Okay, thank you. Well, Aradhya and Ruhanika, you want to read?
The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them.
Okay, thank you. Who would like to go next? Nitya, you want to read?
The senses are so strong and
Impetuous.
impetuous, O Arjuna, that forcibly carry away the mind even of a man discrimination who is endeavoring to control them.
Okay, thank you. Ashi?
The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavor of to control them.
Okay, thank you so much. Ramaya?
The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind of an even distributed who is endeavoring to control them.
Okay, thank you. Atisha? You'd like to read, Atisha?
The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them.
Yes, thank you. And Nimai, your hand is up. Like to read the translation?
The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them.
Okay, thank you. And Ramaya, did you also raise your hand? Did you already read?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Ansh, you want to read as well?
The senses are so strong and impetuous, O Arjuna, that they can forcibly carry away the mind of even a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them.
Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone for reading. So we'll try to understand this verse. So it's similar to the previous verse. So how many senses do we have? I see everybody raising all 5 fingers up, right? Does that mean we have 5 senses? Okay, so I guess we can all unmute and name the 5 senses. Who would like to start? Ashi, name
Smell.
one. So what does the mouth help us do? What sense does it have?
Taste.
Taste, yes. Very nice. Ramaya? So we got one, the second one.
Like um smelling.
Smelling, yes. That's very nice. Nimai? Third sense?
Touch.
Touch. Yeah. Nitya? What sense can you name? Number 4.
Sight.
Sight. Yes. And 5th? Aradhya, Rohanika?
Hear.
Hearing. Yes. So these are the 5 senses that we have. Now let's talk about the different things our senses do. Okay. So, so I think the first one that was mentioned was taste, right? Ashi, you mentioned taste. So what are the wonderful things that we all like to taste? Ashi can start. What are some of the nice things that you like to taste? Are you saying something, Ashi?
Pizza.
Pizza? Okay. Yes, I think that's a favorite. Nimai.
Oreos.
Oreos. Okay. So who else? Ramaya.
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Yes. Okay. What else? Who else can name something that you enjoy tasting? Nitya. Yes, Nitya.
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Okay. So these are just some examples, right? And guess what? Most of the examples that everybody gave are of healthy food. Am I right?
Oops.
No.
Am I right about that? Did we just name healthy food? No, we named junk food, right? We talked about pizza, we talked about Oreos, we talked about chocolate, right? So sweet and salty things sometimes, so our senses are so strong that even if we know that if we eat too much chocolate, we're going to get a toothache, we'll still take, right? So that's how strong our senses are. We still want to go for junk food when they're not good for us, even though we may forcibly meditate in one corner and say that today I'm not going to eat any junk food, right? But still, when somebody makes a fresh pizza and brings it in front of us, it's still, our senses are so strong that we're going to be forcibly carried towards it, even though we're trying to control them, right? So even though we know these things are not so good for us, they should be only taken in moderation or minimally, not too much. Okay, we should be eating more of the healthy foods. But even though we try to control, we sometimes become helpless, right? So this is what this verse is saying. So what are some nice things? So let's go to the sense of hearing. So what are some nice things that you like to hear? Ramaya, your hands are up.
I like to hear my mom talk about me.
Okay, that's nice. Let's see, who else? Ashi?
Nick.
Music? Yes, we like to hear good music, right? What else do you like to hear? Brenda?
Birds.
Birds, yes, that's a beautiful sound to hear the birds chirping. Okay, so these are some examples, right? That things that we are automatically drawn to, right? So sometimes we may be trying to study, we may be trying to focus on a particular activity, But when we hear beautiful sounds, when we hear nice music, attractive music, when we hear the birds chirping so beautifully outside, yes, it's springtime. And when we hear, um, some talking going on, and we also want to listen to it, we get distracted. Yes, we sometimes put away what we're doing. We don't focus on what we're doing, and we are drawn towards, we're forcibly carried towards that sound, right? All right. So what was the other sense we talked about? Sense of smell, right? So I think we spoke about pizza and smell of food. What
No,
other
we
kind
did taste of food.
Yes, the taste of food, right. What about other smells that we can smell? Yes, Nimai.
Flowers.
Flowers, yes. Ramaya?
The smell of nature.
Smell of nature, yes. Yes, Ashi.
Candle.
What did you say?
A candle.
A candle, yes. Scented candles, yes. All right, yeah, these are some beautiful smells. And there are some smells that are not so good, right? Can you think of any smells that don't smell that good? Garbage?
Oh, yeah. The dumpster.
The dumpster? Yes, Ramaya, your hand is up.
When you go to the bathroom and when you poop.
Yeah, that doesn't smell good at all, right? Stool and urine, that doesn't smell good at all. So these are some things that don't smell that good, right? So, but any kind of smell, the senses are so strong that they sometimes distract us and we are forcibly drawn. We become curious. What is that smell, right?
Yes.
Then we spoke about taste, hearing, smell. Let's talk about sight. So what examples do you have for sight? Ramaya,
To see, like when the sun sets, I like to see the sun.
you like to see the sun? Yes, that's a beautiful sight. Ashi,
Like when you're on top of a Ferris wheel, you like to see the view of it.
the whole city. Yes, that's beautiful. Vrinda, is there a certain sight you like?
Um, flowers.
Yeah, flowers are beautiful, so colorful and different shapes. Nimai?
The ocean.
The ocean, yes, so beautiful. All right. Yeah. So those are some examples of beautiful sights. As soon as you see something beautiful, you immediately want to go and see it, right? They forcibly carry us towards it. When you hear of a beautiful place, you feel like you want to go there on vacation sometimes, right?
Like Hawaii.
Like Hawaii, yeah. Beautiful ocean and nature. Ramai, you want to say something?
I went to Hawaii for my 4th birthday.
Oh, wow. That's so nice.
Cool.
All right. So, so yes, so beautiful things that we get attracted to, right? We are drawn towards them. So, what all did we speak about? Taste, smell, hearing, sight, four, right? And what was the fifth? Touch. So, can you give me some examples of something you like to touch? Yes, Nimai.
Orbeez?
Orbi? What is that?
It's like these balls that are like squishy and you put into water and then it grows
Oh,
bigger.
hmm. Okay, interesting. I was not aware of that. So it's something squishy?
No, it's not really squishy, but they're like slimy and
They're
slippery.
slimy?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Very.
Okay. Yes, Maya.
Push them too hard, they break.
I like to touch Orbeez in my slime. I like to touch my soft slime.
Hey, I think that's a popular one. Okay. Rinda,
Dogs.
dogs?
Who's gonna say that?
Why do you think we like to touch? Because they're soft?
Mostly.
Soft and furry?
No, we're curious.
Curious? Okay. So, yeah, so sometimes, what about temperature, right? Sometimes when it's too hot or too cold, who senses that? It's our skin.
Oh.
We can sense sometimes that it's too hot or too cold. We like it when it's nice and pleasant, a nice, pleasing, cooling breeze, right? But nothing too cold or too hot. So these are different senses that we are so easily carried away by. And sometimes when we are trying to do something serious, when we need to get something done, we need to control our senses, right? So if I know that I need to do a really important homework or a really important project, right? Or if I'm doing something that I promised someone that I would
Doing
do it.
housework.
Yeah, like a chore at home, right? Putting away the dishes or whatever it may be, something important that we promised that we would do. Sometimes we have to control our senses, right? We can't be carried away by our senses. Say we're doing an important work, trying to put away something, and we see a beautiful, sight. Maybe it starts raining and becomes dark. It looks so beautiful all of a sudden, right? And we get distracted. So this is what the senses do. Fortunately or unfortunately, we have these senses that are so strong. They pull us away from what we're meant to do. But we can always engage these senses in the service of Krishna also. And that's what the next verse will speak about, where Krishna, for the first time, himself says that for a yogi who's trying to forcibly control his senses can still carry him away. But for someone who's engaging his senses in serving Krishna, in serving the Lord, the senses are actually your best friends when you do that. So we'll see how, okay? We'll see in the next class how we can do that. 2.61. Okay, so we'll move on to our Ramayan story. Okay, yay, yes. So we're going to talk about the birth and childhood pastimes of Lord Ram. Right up until the last class, we spoke about how a servant of Vishnu, he came from the sacrifice, right? A Vishnu Duta, he came from the sacrifice, and he gives Dashrath a very large pot, a large golden pot of sweet rice, right? He gives him sweet rice, and he tells Dashrath that give these rice and portions to your 3 wives. And sorry, are you able to still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Please give these in equal portions to your wives. So he gives, and he said, from them you will get 4 sons, and these 4 sons will increase your fame. They will be such good boys. So he gives Kaushalya 1/2 of the sweet rice. He gives Sumitra 1/4, and he gives KK another 1/8. And he gives the remaining, he's wondering what to do with the remaining 1/8. So he gives that again to Sumitra. And the queens, they eat their shares. And soon they feel the presence of divine offspring. They can feel that there is now a baby in my womb. So, so Maharaj Dashrath, he then understood that his wives are now pregnant. They're carrying his children. So he becomes overjoyed. And then Lord Brahma, he tells the demigods that now is the time that you need to assist Lord Ram in his activities. But so, in order to assist him in his activities on the earth, please take birth. Please go to the earthly planet. Please take birth. And please, as your partial manifestations in the wombs of different creatures such as bears, monkeys, the apsaras, some heavenly beings, right? And the children that you will have when you partially manifest in all these different beings should be very intelligent. He tells them that they should be very intelligent. They should assume any form at will. And also they should possess mystic powers. They should be very powerful, right? And they should be very highly skilled in the use of weapons. So they should know how to use the weapons. And in this way, they should all come together and they should help Lord Vishnu in his coming incarnation as Lord Ram. So all these various demigods, they partially manifested themselves. And here we have a list. So Indra's partial manifestation was Vali, Surya, his partial manifestation or his child, sometimes they're called Surya Putra or the son of Surya, Sugriva. So the daughter of Brihaspati was Tara. And all these different monkeys actually came from these various demigods. So Gandhamada, Nala, Sushena, Hanuman, right? All of you know about Hanuman? Yes. So he was also the partial manifestation of Vayudev, the wind god. So the three main species that they were born in were bears, monkeys, and monkeys with long tails, like cows. And soon there would be 10 million of these monkeys and bears on the earth planets, and they would pervade the earth and they would live off fruits and plants, forest. And actually, some of these monkeys, they were so powerful that they could agitate the entire ocean. So you can see in this picture, right? There's a picture of all these various powerful monkeys who actually helped Lord Ram in his search for Sita, right? And these were very powerful monkeys. They were not ordinary monkeys at all. So you can see here, these monkeys, they had the 8 siddhis or mystic powers. Siddhi means mystic powers, special powers. So what are these various special powers? So these are some examples. So Anima, Mahima, Garima, Lagima, Prapti, Prakamya, Ishitva, and Vashitva. So these are the 8 siddhis, 8 different powers that they had, right? And we can see Lord Hanuman or Hanumanji, he had all 8 siddhis. So Anima means one is able to become so tiny. He can reduce his size. He can actually reduce his size to become so small. Can any of us do that? No, right? We can't, but Hanumanji could. So anyone who has perfected their life in yoga, in the process of yoga, can actually acquire these powers. They can actually acquire these mystic powers. So if we also become trained in the process of yoga under a guru, we can also get these siddhis. Did you know that? We all can get them actually if we are properly trained in the yoga process. So there are Ashta Siddhis. Anima is the ability to reduce in one's size. Mahima is the ability to become larger, very, very large. So Hanumanji, he could become really tiny. He could also increase his size, right? And he could become huge. And there are so many stories. We'll be talking about them, about how he did that. And then Garima. Garima means the ability to become heavy and immovable. And then there's Lagima. And Lagima means to become very light, like a feather, to become weightless. And then have you sometimes seen these Babajis? Some people who are, they may not necessarily be saintly, but there are people who have mystic powers who can actually levitate. Have you ever seen a picture or a video of such people who can actually levitate, a little bit? So they have the ability to become weightless and move against gravity. And this is all part of their yoga training. This is all part of, what they're able to do, what they've been trained to do, actually. And these are things that they've acquired. These are yoga siddhis, or are the mystic powers that they've, acquired from practicing yoga. And then there is prapti, the ability to go anywhere. So they can actually vanish from one place and go to another place. And there's prakamya, means the ability to access whatever one desires. So they can actually, whatever they want. If they want a flower, they can manifest a flower in their hand. So they can actually fulfill their own desires. Prakamya. And then Ishitva. Ishitva means possession of lordship. So they can actually become worshipable. People start worshiping them because, of that power that they've acquired. And then there's Vashitva, that they have a lot of mind control. So Hanumanji, actually, there's a planet of the Siddhas in the upper planetary system. And in that planet, there are some people, they're not called human beings, they're called the Siddhas. And in that planet, actually, they possess these Ashtasiddhis. So they're able to do all these things, all the people in that planet. Just like human beings can do, things that we do, right? We can inquire about God, right? We can use our life to make spiritual progress. And there's so many things that we do on an everyday basis. Similarly, Siddhas in the planet, in Siddha Loka, in the planet of the Siddhas, they have all these 8 Ashtasiddhis. And Hanumanji was one of them. He had all these 8 mystic powers. Okay. So all these monkeys, powerful monkeys who were born of various demigods, they had powers coming from all the demigods, were born, including Lord Hanuman. And then, who knows who this is? Who is this in the picture? Yes, Nimai. Are you saying Mantra? Yes, this is Mantra. So Mantra, actually, she was also asked by Lord Brahma to take birth. So she's going to come later in our story. I'm sure all of you actually know the story of what Mantra does in the later part of the story, in the latter part of the story. But Mantra was actually a Gandharvi. She was one of the Gandharvas, and her name was Dundubi. And she was ordered by Brahma to go and help Lord Ram kill Ravan. So to help facilitate the pastime, this Gandharvi named Dundubi, she comes and she becomes the maid servant of Kaikai, right? That's what Manthara, she was also sent by Brahma basically to participate in this pastime and to facilitate the pastime of Lord Ram. Ramaya, you have your hand is raised.
Who's Kaikai?
So there are three queens of Dashrath. Kaikai was one of them. Anybody can name the other two queens? Ashi, your hand is up. Kaushalya, Sumitra, and Kaikai. Right? Those were the three wives of Dashrath. And who was Dashrath? Can anyone tell me who Dashrath was?
King?
I can't see anybody for some reason. There's a lot of scribbling on the board, on the screen. If we can avoid that, please.
The king.
The king, yes. He's the father of
And Krishna. And
Lord Ram, just Lord Ram, right? So Dashrath was the father of Lord Ram, and he wanted sons so that he can continue his dynasty. And he had three wives, Kaushalya, Sumitra, and Kaikai. And Manthara was the maid servant of Kaikai right from her childhood. So Manthara was previously known as Dundubi, and Brahmaji asked her to come to the earth to help Lord Ram, and she obeyed him, right? So we can see here Lord Ram is born to mother. Who is the mother of Lord Ram? Yes, Nimai.
Kaushalya.
Yes, Kaushalya is the mother of Lord Ram. So after 12 months and 9 days later, on the 9th day of the waxing moon in the month of Chaitra, a son was born to Mother Kaushalya. He had beautiful reddish lips and a greenish hue to his body. And he was half the potency of Lord Vishnu. He had half the powers of Lord Vishnu, and that was Lord Ram. And soon, uh, the other sons were born too. So Lakshman was born, Bharat was born, and Shatrughna was born. And they were also partial potencies of Lord Vishnu. Yes, Ramaya.
They're all brothers.
Yes, they're all brothers. You see this picture? So this is Dasharath, and these are his three queens, his wives, Kaushalya, Sumitra, and Kaikai. So we can see that they had four children, the twins. So wait, Lord Ram was born of Kaushalya, right? Bharat was born of Kaikai. And Lakshman and Shatrughna was born of Sumitra. So does everyone remember that? It's going to be part of your Kahoot quiz. So make sure you remember that, okay? So Kaushalya's son was Ram. Sumitra's sons were Lakshman and Shatrughna, the twins. And Kaikai's son was Bharat. So when they were born, there was a huge festival. Everybody was so overjoyed. The entire kingdom of Ayodhya was so overjoyed, and there was a big festival. And all the demigods, they showered flowers. The Gandharvas, they sang. The Apsaras, they danced. And 13 days later, there was a name giving ceremony. There was a Namkaran ceremony by their family priest, Vashisht and Guru Vashishta Muni. So Vashisht Muni, he named them 13 days later. And actually, Vashisht Muni was so humble, he knew that this is actually the Supreme Lord himself. This is Lord Vishnu himself who has manifested on earth. And he said that you already have a name, but I'm simply doing the service of giving you your names. So he named the son of Kaushalya Ram. He named the son of Kaikai Bharat. And he named the twin boys of Sumitra, Lakshman, and Shatrughna. Okay, let's test your knowledge. Let's see how many of you have been paying attention. Who was the son of Kaushalya? Aradhya and Rohanika?
Ram.
Yes, Ram. And who is the son of Kaikai? Nitya? Can't hear you.
Bharata.
Bharata, yes. And who are the twin boys of Sumitra? Satya, did your hand go up?
No.
Okay, whose hand is up? Ramaya?
Lakshman and Shatrughan.
Okay, very good, very good. So these were the four brothers. They were very attached to each other. They were very good boys. They gave a lot of joy to their parents and to the whole kingdom. They were very, very pleased. Everybody, they had a very wonderful childhood, and they were the loving children of their parents. And out of all of them, Lord Ram was the favorite of King Dashrath because he was the oldest. And and also they were yeah, so they lived a very wonderful childhood. And after this, what happened was Vashisht Muni, who is the guru of these of the family guru. He took charge of performing all the purificatory rites of the boys. So purificatory rites are the various samskaras. So there are 16 samskaras. How many of you knew that there are samskaras that one needs to perform in one's lifetime? So these are called purificatory rites of passage. Basically, every religion has these. Every culture has these. So even in the Christian religion, you'll notice that they have, the first communion, baptism, different things where there are rites of passage. So similarly in the Sanatan Dharma, in our process of spiritual culture, there are 16 samskaras that are practiced. So there's one that's before conception. Namkaran is one of them where there's a name giving ceremony. So it's possible that your parents may have also done this for you when you were small. Annaprashan, the first time you feed um, grains to a child is called Annaprasan, around 6 months of age, when a baby is 6 months. And then there is Chuda Karanam, which is the first time, or it's sometimes called Mundan, where, the hairs of the baby are taken out for the first time, are shaved off. And then there is a Karna Vedam, which is piercing of the ear. First time a baby's ear is pierced. So the reason why this is done is not only because they are rites of passage or important phases in a child's life, but it's also because they are very purificatory, because they can purify our life, they can endow us with good qualities. So, so different important phases of life where you see Vidyarambha is when a child is taught to write for the first time, and then Upanayanam is when a child is given a sacred thread and taught to chant mantras. So these are, and then there's the Vivaha Samskar. Vivaha, you see this here? That's the marriage ceremony. You see, sometimes you've been to marriages before. How many of you have been to marriages before? A wedding. Anyone been to a wedding before? Yes. So, and that's also a samskara. That's one of the 16 samskaras. And then, of course, there's the Antyeshti samskar. That is when one leaves his body. That's also a purificatory rite that is done. Okay. So these are the 16 samskaras. And right up to Upanayanam is when they became young boys, is what Vashishta Muni performed. He performed all these purificatory rites. And right when they were around 6 and 7 years old, it was tradition in India to send children, boys, especially even the girls. Girls also went to girl gurukulas, but it was tradition to send the boys to an ashram of a guru and to take shelter and to take instruction from him. So these 4 boys, they lived in the ashram of Vashishta Muni, and at the ashram, they became very expert. They became very expert at the Vedas. They became expert, they became heroic warriors. So they gained many skills. They became heroic warriors. You can see them learning to shoot the bow and arrow in this picture, right? And they learned the science of the soul, and they learned how to become good human beings. So, so in ancient India, there's a tradition that boys and even girls were sent to school to actually reside in the ashram of a guru, but they went to separate schools. They didn't go to the same school, and and they would take instruction from the guru. So actually, one second, my screen, yeah. So they were taught many virtues, like how to be humble, how to be respectful to the elders, and how to be disciplined in one's life. And they were also taught the sciences from the Vedas, from the Puranas, the science of the soul, the science of the chakras, the science of yoga. And they also learned the scriptures. They also learned the science of weapons. So Ram, Lakshman, and their brothers, they also learned the science of the weapons, and they were taught to become excellent warriors, right? And so we can see here Vashishta Muni. So this is a traditional Gurukula. Sorry. This is a traditional Gurukula, and we can see here that Vashisht Muni is actually teaching the 4 brothers how to become excellent students and excellent warriors. So this is the end of the childhood pastimes. This is not the end of Balkand. Balkand is, so there are 7 kandas or 7 sections of the Ramayan. This is not the end of the Balkand, but this is the end of the childhood pastimes of Lord Ram. There is more in the Balkand that is yet to come, which we will cover in the upcoming classes. Actually, there's not much childhood pastimes that has been described of Lord Ram. Actually, in the Valmiki Ramayan, there are only 10 verses that describe the childhood pastimes of Lord Ram. And that is because the purpose of appearance of Lord Ram is very different. The reason why he came was to show what an ideal human being is, how a ideal human being should behave. That's what Lord Ram came to teach. He came to teach what is Maryada Purushottam, or ideal human behavior. So that's what he came to teach us. Lord Krishna, on the other hand, you'll notice that there are so many childhood pastimes, right? Have you heard of some childhood pastimes of Krishna? Yes? Krishna's pastimes, anyone? Childhood pastimes? So there are so many pastimes, childhood pastimes of Lord Krishna. And the reason for that, compared to Lord Ram, is because Krishna actually came for a different reason. He came because he wanted to rest. He wanted to have, of course, he came to kill the demons, but he also came because he wanted to um, satisfy and have loving relationships with his devotees. Mother Yashoda, the gopis, right? His cowherd boyfriends. So all these different devotees of his, he wanted to have loving relationships with them. So that's why we see there's so many childhood pastimes of Krishna. But for Lord Ram, we see there are most of his instructional pastimes, most of the instruction that we get from Lord Ram's pastimes is when Lord Ram is older. So this is the end of, there are very few childhood pastimes. Valmiki Ramayan doesn't describe them, but there are other versions of the Ramayan. Like in South India, there is Kamba Ramayan. In North India, there is Tulsidas Ramayan. And there are some childhood pastimes that are described there. But basically, the boys, they complete their, they get their samskaras done, and they go to the Gurukul, and they become excellent boys, excellent human beings. They come back home fully trained, and their parents are very joyous when they see them when they come back. And we will carry on with the rest of the story in the next class. Okay? Does anybody have anything they want to share? Anything that you liked from today's class? Or something new that you learned? Ramaya?
I learned the the three of um Laura's dad's name.
You mean the mothers?
Yeah.
Queens? Okay. Yes, Kaushalya, Sumitra, and KK. Okay, that's nice. Okay, Aradhya, Rohanika, your hand is up.
I like the story.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing. What did you like in the story?
And like this whole story.
Okay, yeah. Yes, it's very inspiring. All the lessons are yet to come, but yes, thank you. Who else would like to share what they liked? Nima, you want to share something you enjoyed in today's class? Okay, all right. Okay, everyone, thank you for participating. We'll end for today.
Yes.
All right, we'll chant the closing prayers. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa
कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.
Thank you, everyone. We'll meet next week.
Bye.
Bye.